Most people would agree that discrimination on the basis of race is inherently wrong because it denies individuals the opportunity to demonstrate their individual capacity and their individual abilities and likes and dislikes and all the things about us that is uniquely personal. But what we have in Canada is a remarkable phenomenon of institutionalized racism. And by that I mean, in the past we established Indian residential schools, which everybody now recognizes was a mistake, and huge amounts of money are now paid not so much to individuals but to groups to compensate for what was an inherently racist policy. But what are we doing today? I'm looking now at the Times columnist of this very day. This is January the 11th. And an island chief left his territory for fisheries. And in effect, what had happened was the chief of a Port Alberni First Nation should not have strayed outside his territory, traditional territory, and contracted out a commercial salmon catch in the Johnstone Strait according to documents in BC Provincial Court. Stephen Tatouche, chief of the Hupkasath First Nation, obtained approval from the Namgis First Nation of Alert Bay to conduct seine fisheries last August off northeastern Vancouver Island. Federal Fisheries Officer Greg Askey asserts in a statement to obtain a search warrant in this case. So what happened was, I gather, Chief Tatouche arranged with a chief of another First Nation, Ronald Sparrow, who was a fisherman from Vancouver's Musqueam First Nation, to catch the salmon with the seine boat Shanny Lynn 2. Why Tatouche went outside his traditional territory for fish is not clear, especially given the strong sockeye catch returns in the Somas River in 2011. Obviously reading is not my forte. Anyway, here's what I want to make a clear fact about. Fisheries officers estimate 64,151 kilograms of salmon were illegally caught in the native fishery. My friends, all I'm trying to say is that 128,000 pounds of salmon was caught in this native fishery that would not have been legally caught if the individual catching it was white. And if we're going to have rules that preserve the environment, to preserve the fishery, it should be applicable to everybody. There should be no exceptions for native fishery. Now, I realize the Supreme Court of Canada has held, and this is rapidly being expanded, that native fisheries are a traditional right, arising out of some agreement with the English Crown in 1763. Western Canada would not be bound by ancient imperial agreements. And it cannot continue in this way if we are to preserve an equal right for all citizens. And Western Canada being a new government, not a successor government of the Government of Canada after independence, would be able to establish equal rights for all citizens. And this, of course, would include equal rights to private property, which the Constitution of Canada of 1982 did not establish. These are the reasons, one more reason, equality of legal rights, that Western Canada has to achieve independence and build a constitution that gives respect for individuals, for their rights, and for the maintenance of the valuable heritage of all of our resources, protected by the same legal principles for every individual citizen of Western Canada.